Hello, my name is Alexandra Quint, English student of Miss Schmordock. Today I'm being interviewed by my mother on the analysis of the poem The Animal State by Mr. Reza.
What is the poem about?
Overall, the poem is classified as an allegory. It indicates the wrongs in our systems, meaning that us humans have been acting foolishly and violent towards each other. The writer uses animals to symbolize humans, describing their vices and their struggle for power.
In what way does the writer use the animals to symbolize humans?
The writer uses a variety of different descriptions that do not contribute to animal actions, such as they blame one another for committing the crime, an envious state of barbarism, terrorism inflicted on them, as they both incorporate words and actions that purely describe human actions. The fact that animals cannot reciprocate these actions to each other extends to indicate that the writer is referring to the way that humans act. Barbarism and terrorism are distinct and violent terms used to describe human actions. Barbarism means the absence of culture and civilization, and terrorism defines to be the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. Both of these terms aren't thought of when talking about animals, as they are not civilians. Civilians are humans, so in other words, the writer is describing humans as to being barbaric and terroristic. This proves the point that the writer is using symbolism to convey a message.
What types of literary devices were used in the poem?
The types of literary devices used in this poem are onomatopoeia, personification, symbol, symbolism, theme, tone, mood, alliteration, allusion, cacophony, irony, and imagery. Onomatopoeia is showcased in the line with whizzing, shuddering, cracking, tearing, echoing, as these words echo the sound that they make. Personification is shown in the virtues sunk and the vices rose everywhere, as the words virtues and vices are given human descriptions, sunk and rose everywhere. Symbol symbolism is the main literary device in this poem, as the whole poem revolves around it. It is shown throughout the whole poem that humans are symbolized as animals. The theme presented in this poem is struggle. This is because the animals are showcasing the difficulty of fighting for power. The imagery portrayed in this poem is violence, as throughout the poem, death, violence, and unfairness is used in order to reach the top of the population. The overall tone of the poem is intended to express anger and frustration. The writer of this piece utilized the literary devices previously stated, such as alliteration and imagery, to truly conduce an atmosphere which represents such emotions, with the goal to express his designated message. The mood of the poem is a dark one. It connects to the theme of constant turmoil, and it induces sensations of unfairness, weakness, and ultimately death. Overall, the mood of the poem aims to distress the reader to truly imprint what the cost of chaos is. Alliteration is incorporated in the poem in the lines, committing destruction, death in a horrible situation, and a long conflict, complicated and awful tangles. This is to add an artistic style to the poem and to enunciate the harshness of the words to better and capture the harshness of the poem's reality. As the words destruction, death, and conflict, complicated, are a repetition of the same constant. Allusion is found in the poem in the line previously stated, envious state of barbarism, terrorism inflicted on them, as this line refers to the previous events of terrorism and war. And the line cook poisonous broth and how to throw an unseen net to catch the rest, as it refers to technology advancing due to wars. These allusions add a deeper meaning to the poem, and it helps to add a clear understanding to the poem's overall meaning. Cacophony adds a sense of disorder to the poem, and the poem's topic is about greed and violence. This literary device adds on to the meaning of the poem. Cacophony can be found in the line that states, dreadful tumult, commotion, collision, conflict took place. As the words commotion, collision, conflict all result in harsh sounds. Irony is meant to introduce the implied meaning in spite of the contradiction. This can be found in the final line of the poem. It states that might is right, established in the ruthless Bastille state. This is ironic because the predators announce that ruling with the right is best, but the state is still ruthless. The final literary device incorporated in the poem is imagery, as this provides mental snapshots to the readers, which appeal to sensory experience.
What is the significance of the final paragraph?
The significance of the final paragraph relates to the beginning of the poem, as chaos was a self-inflicted measure rather than a creation of an external source. Specifically stated that no nature event caused this. This preludes to the theme of creating chaos for chaos's sake. This theme also exists in the end of the poem. Even though the lions and tigers won, it is stated that the victorious were excited having got all easy victory, but they found troubles to enjoy the whole empire lonely. This statement proves that they weren't happy because they could no longer further induce chaos. This further correlates to the theme of chaos for chaos's sake. This concludes the analysis of the poem. Thank you.